Even though the college football season is right around the corner, the West Virginia Mountaineers and Coach Rich Rodriguez continue to do work and get players out of the transfer portal. The most recent addition is an offensive lineman, and I think he's a diamond in the rough. We're going to talk about that in this episode of Couz's Corner. We're also going to talk about the fact that West Virginia has gotten 6 players now out of the portal since the start of fall camp. Is this problematic for this West Virginia team? And should we be concerned? We're going to have that conversation as well, and we're going to have it right now. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner, your home for top shelf college sports news and analysis surrounding the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Big 12. West Virginia just went out and got their 6th player. That's right, 6th player out of the portal since the start of fall camp. His name, Jude Edwards. He's a 6'3", 300-plus pound offensive lineman who went to Trinity Community College. His hometown is League City Texas, and he played for Clear Falls High School there. And Edwards was a preseason JUCO All-American at Trinity City College. So this young man balled out his very first year of JUCO, which was last year. He's coming into West Virginia with 3 years of eligibility remaining. You watch this young man's film, he does really good with his hand placement. He tends to get good leverage. He needs to be more consistent with that, but he does really good. He had a lot of pancake blocks in his highlights that I watched. He's very strong, and I think this is a really good pickup for this Mountaineer team, especially this late in the process, because it's really hard to find good players this late in the process in the portal because, most teams already have their rosters full. So most of the good players have already been taken, which has a lot of Mountaineer fans questioning why in the world is West Virginia still getting players out of the portal this close to the season? Does that mean they're desperate? Well, in the case of Jude Edwards, I don't think that's the case. I think this young man is a really talented player. I think he plays with a hard edge. I think he's going to fit what they want to do. He's an interior offensive lineman, the best I can tell. Most of the snaps he played, in the highlights he was playing the left guard position. So he gives them some depth on the offensive line. And like I mentioned, he has 3 years of eligibility remaining. Now, when you look at the broader picture of what the Mountaineers have done in the portal in this fall, like I mentioned in the opening, they've brought in 6 players. And at first glance, you think, man, that's a lot. 6 players this late in the game. And you've heard Coach Rod even say in press conferences, there are often not a lot of great players left in the portal because nobody wants them for a reason. But yet they still went out and added guys. And, it got me thinking, man, are they desperate? And my initial thoughts were, man, that's kind of scary that they're going out and getting guys so late. It shows desperation. But then I sit back and thought about it and looked over the various players and the positions they play and those types of things. And I think, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think most of these players are filling 2 roles. One, they are players of need in certain positions of need where they might lack depth, because that is a thing. Almost every team, I would say, going into the season has some holes they'd like to fill if they can fill them. Well, West Virginia is trying to address that in certain needs, like I mentioned with Jude Edwards. Coach Rod has talked about how he'd like to have one more offensive lineman. Well, he went out and got one. We all know that there are eligibility questions around some players. He went out and filled some of those positions, right? We know Jalen Knighton, the running back, is not available to play because of academic reasons. Well, they went out and got a running back in Tyler Jackledge, a sophomore, 6'2", 223-pound sophomore coming from Merced College in California. Very good player, ran for 842 yards on 163 carries at Merced. Runs a 4.4 840 and can also run over you. Very good player. I did a separate video on him. I'll leave a link to it at the end. But it's filling a position of need. And the cool thing about Jackledge, he also has 3 years of eligibility remaining, the best I can tell, because he's listed as a redshirt sophomore on the roster. So not only are you filling a position of need, you're also bringing in a player who can be with you for 2 or 3 years and help build the program long term. Same with Jude Edwards, the offensive lineman, another young player who can help you build for the future. Now, when you look at the other 4 players they've brought in, I'm going to go over each of them and let you know why they are either filling a position of need or are helping to build for the future.
So I don't think these are necessarily ads out of desperation. When you look at the first one I'm going to talk about, or the next one rather, Olu Amatosho, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He's a 6'2" defensive lineman coming to West Virginia out of Oregon State. He might even be playing the bandit position. I'm not exactly sure where they end up putting him. I expect he might play that defensive end position because of what? We all know that Jamoy Robinson is in the courts battling for his eligibility, right? Well, Amatosho gives them a pass rusher at the end of that defensive line. So he's going to come in. He only has 1 year of eligibility remaining as a redshirt senior. But he gives them the opportunity to fill that gap that they could end up missing if Jamoy Robinson is deemed ineligible. Then you've got linebacker Caleb Nuhi Yandal, a 6', 240-pound linebacker transferring from Cerritos College, another JUCO transfer. Earned first-team all-conference honors in 2023 as a linebacker. Very, very good football player, in my opinion, or at least has a opportunity to be at the Power 4 level. This one, I think it's a matter of two things. A, you see a good football player that things fit what you're trying to do, you go get him and you bring him in. And again, he has 2 years of eligibility remaining. So because he's listed as a junior, and you look at the linebacker room, they have 4 seniors in that linebacker room for West Virginia on this roster. So they're going to be losing at least 4 guys. So this is another player who can come in. Even if he can't contribute this year, he'll have a year in the program going into next year. And he'll be an upperclassman next year that might be able to help you. And he might be a great special teams player as well. Then you look at the next one on the list, Hubert Hendrickson III. Now, this was the one that I did scratch my head on, but even if you look at him, all indications are he's coming in as a walk-on. He's 6'2", about 160 pounds. You know, he's going to come in, spend some time in the weight program, in a Power 4 weight program, spend some time with a Power 4 nutritionist, eating right, trying to get bulk up because he's only 160 pounds. And if he doesn't work out, you can just say, look, it might be best for you to go to the portal and find somewhere you can get some minutes. No harm done. And he's got 4 years of eligibility remaining. So if he does put weight on, if he does fit what you're trying to do, if he's a hard worker, if he's tough, he's good for the culture in the locker room, who knows? Maybe it ends up being a good addition. And if he doesn't, again, you can help him find a new home in the portal. And he's not on scholarship. So, you know, you're spending very little of your rev share money on him, if any at all. So I think, again, not a lot of risk there. Then you got another one. Oh, and by the way, in the cornerback room, the defensive back room there, especially the corners, they have 5 seniors on the roster that they will be losing after this year. So you get another young player with 4 years of eligibility that you can kind of grow and develop in the program. Again, building for the future. Then you've got Andre Devine, a 5', 760-pound running back who's coming in from Jacksonville State. He's a redshirt freshman, did not play at Jacksonville State last year. So, it's another running back because you potentially could be losing 2 if Ty Edwards is also deemed not eligible because he's also included in that lawsuit with Jamoy Robinson. So if he's not deemed eligible, you will have lost 2 of your running backs off your depth chart. You just filled them with Tyler Jacklich and Andre Devine. And even if Devine's not able to come in and help you right away, he has 4 years of eligibility remaining. You can develop him. He gets to be in a Power 4 weight program. He gets to be in a Power 4 nutrition program. He gets to learn from not only Rich Rodriguez, but from Travis Trickett and from his own dad, Noel Devine, who's on the staff and who's one of the greatest running backs in the history of West Virginia football. So he has good genes. No pun intended. And this is not an American Eagle ad. But he has good genes. He's a legacy player. Why not take a chance on him? If you've got room on the roster, who knows? He could be a breakout star for you 2-3 years down the road. And he already knows Rich Ross' system because he's already spent a year in it. So to me, when you look at first glance, when I saw that Rich Rod was bringing in all these players out of the portal so late in the process, I'm like, man, this does not look good. But if you sit back and look at it in context, I think it's actually pretty smart moves in most of these cases. It's either guys who are feeling an immediate need where they've lost players on the depth chart or could be losing players on the depth chart, and you're doing some preemptive backfilling, so to speak, or it's guys who are young and you can develop in the program for 2, 3, 4 years. I don't think you can go wrong with that. And I trust this staff that they know what to look for in players. They know what fits their systems on both sides of the ball. They might be finding guys who fit that hard edge mentality. And again, with the way the transfer, and let's remember, the transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh. And coaches do have the option to say, hey, man, you're not working out here. You probably need to find the portal. And there's, with the new rules in place now where guys can transfer pretty much whenever they want to, as long as it's during the open portal window, then I see no reason that you can't do that with some of these guys if they don't work out in 1 or 2 years, or if you see they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So I see no issue with West Virginia Coach Raw taking players this late in the process, because I think they all fill needs for the most part, or they help with the future development of your program. I think it's just a case of this staff never sitting on their laurels. They're never going to stop recruiting. They're never going to stop developing. They're never going to stop looking for those players who can help them win football games. And if they think any of these guys can do that, then bring them in. And I think that's what they're looking to do here, even though it's, as I record this, we're less than 2 weeks in the first football game. So, but I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think this is a problem that Coach Rod and his staff are bringing players in so late? Or do you think these are good additions? I want to know what you think in the comment section. Let me know. I want to give a shout out to my paid VIP channel members of this episode. If you want to be a paid VIP member, there's a join button below. There's also a join button over at my channel homepage, right beside my profile picture, if you don't see it underneath. Now, the members of this episode are Shaq, Todd Biela, Okie King, WVU Fan 13, and Earl Carr. Thank them all for their paid membership, for helping me keep the lights on. And as you can see along the bottom of the screen, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, this YouTube membership, it's either $2.99 a month or $4.99 a month, depending on what level you choose. And if you're listening to this on podcast platforms, do me a favor. Please hit that 5-star. Give me that 5-star review. Leave me a nice review. Also, please follow me on whether it be Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Please follow us over there, because we're also putting out audio-only content frequently throughout the week, and we'll be doing even more during football season. Please hit the like button if you can't support me financially. It's absolutely free to do so. Hope you like the looks of my new camera. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share it with your family and friends. Let them know about Couz's Corner. If they like West Virginia Mountaineer sports, this is where they need to be. Another shout out to my channel sponsor, Appalachia Digital, the folks who can rebuild your website or build you a new website. Thank them for all they've done for me here at the channel and over at WVSportsChat.com. Thanks for tuning into the show. Hope the rest of your day's top shelf. Q Country Roads.